Zombie film review? These aren't zombies. Are they humanoid monsters motivated by a base desire who are much more dangerous in groups, and can they spread whatever is affecting them to other people, thereby increasing that group size and overall danger? Yeah, they're zombies. Welcome to Exploitation Reviews, and me, Rob. Today I'm taking a look at The Sadness from 2021. This is a Taiwanese zombie film that is starting to hit streaming markets in the West, so let's talk about it. I mean, it was described by Rue Morgue as the most violent and depraved zombie film ever made, so yeah, that's an exploitation film. It has a home here. By the way, this review will be completely spoiler-free, so no worries if you haven't seen it yet. In fact, I'm not even going to show you anything that you didn't already see in the trailer. So yeah, spoiler-free. That's what that means. Okay, so the story. Jim and Kat are this cute young couple, and they wake up one morning and get ready for work. And, like many people, Jim, when he's having breakfast, he checks the news. There are some rumblings about some sort of virus, but nothing overly concerning, so they go to work. On the way to work, they see an accident, or what looks like an accident, but again, this pretty big city, see a bloody accident, no big deal, continue on their way. After Jim drops Kat off, he sees that police car from the accident has been abandoned. Little weird, but still not anything to worry about too much. Okay, Jim pops into this restaurant to grab a cup of coffee, and while he's in there waiting, this old woman comes in, and she attacks the worker with some frying oil, and that is just brutal and crazy. And then Jim looks around the restaurant and sees that some of the other customers are just stabbing people to death, and now the movie is fucking on. Okay, so it's a zombie film, not a slasher film, so there is no cold open, but, this opening is pretty quick getting into the main action, which I really appreciated. Okay, outside the restaurant, Jim sees that the city is very quickly descending into chaos. He manages to escape and get back to his apartment, and then when he checks the news again, he sees it's a full-blown national emergency. And that's the situation. He's at home, Kat is at work or on her way to a meeting, which is even further away. So he's on one side of the city, she's on the other side of the city. In between them are a million rape murder zombies. That's the plot of the movie. Can these people get together? Let's talk some highlights. There is some really nice splatter in this movie. It's one of the bloodiest movies I've seen in a long time, and the blood looks fantastic. That doesn't make it depraved, though, like Rue Morgue said. That makes it bloody and gross, which is wonderful. What makes it depraved, which is also quite nice, is the things these zombies say. My God. Ugh. Evil. Nice. I loved it. I also like how the movie has all these nice little digs at how the government handles virus situations, like we all know. And, not just the government, but how people handle these situations as well, with their conspiratorial mindsets and ignoring scientists. Yeah, it is pretty cool. I mean, in the movie, none of this is subtle, but nothing in this movie is subtle, and that's fine. There's this wonderful scene in the movie that takes place in the subway, and this is in the trailer, so it's not a spoiler. Where, there's this older guy who I guess maybe we would call like an incel, and this is written really well, and it really leads very well into the tension of the subway scene. And again, it's in the trailer, no spoiler, where things just go freaking nuts. It's awesome. Loved it. Great scene. And I really do like these zombies. There's some exposition later that kind of fills in the blanks, but it's pretty easy to figure out, even at the beginning of the movie, what's going on. So what's happening is this virus is sort of compelling these people to act out their worst, most debased fantasies. And they have no control over it whatsoever. So, and then later it's explained it attacks like the limbic system or whatever. But the higher order brain functions are still there, but all that they're doing is just informing this, animalistic behavior with, like human level creativity. So you've got these smart, rational zombies, well, in a way, but they just are completely controlled and compelled by this virus to do the most horrific things they can imagine, and humans can imagine some really horrific things. So they're not mindless. In fact, quite the opposite. They're quite intelligent, but they have lost their free will, and you can tell that they're aware of this. You know, they have these dark eyes and they cry. So it's like, you know, they're like the good part of them in there, like knows exactly what they're doing and they're powerless to stop it. So I guess, you know, maybe that's where the title of the movie comes from, The Sadness. Yeah, really messed up. Really great idea for some zombies. Ooh, a final like is I really love this idea of this main antagonist zombie. So what happens is that incel character from the subway, when he becomes zombified, he chases Kat like through most of the movie. He's just singularly focused on ruining her life, and he is a hell of a good villain. Just wow. And I can't really remember the last zombie movie I watched that had this type of zombie. Maybe there isn't one. Maybe this is the first zombie movie with a main antagonist zombie. Pretty cool. More than pretty cool. So, as much as I like the movie, and I definitely recommend you check it out, it did have a few shortcomings that could have been improved upon. Okay, well, one, and I know this will sound crazy because the movie is so horrifically violent, but there were some off-screen pieces of violence that I wanted on screen. Yeah, that might just be me. But for example, and again, it's in the trailer, there is a scene in the hospital where one of the zombies has like this bone saw, and we see like blood spray up on the guy's face, but we don't see exactly what she's doing down at the injury site, and I wanted to see that. But maybe that's just me. And even though the movie is pretty fast-paced, it does have some minor pacing issues. There are times when things are like going like really well, and then it just kind of like slows down. And yeah, okay, I'm sure that there's a reason for this. Maybe it's so we can kind of catch our breath. I do kind of wish it would have not slowed down just to see what it would be like. You know, what if the movie just was complete freaking chaos, like as soon as things started without any breather? I don't know if that would work, but I would be interested to see a cut of the film like that, just to see if it would work. Okay, finally, some people will complain that this film is not terribly original. I'm not one of those people. That doesn't bother me at all. But yeah, this film is very much like The Crazies. It's very much like 28 Days Later, 28 Weeks Later. Yeah, it has a few little nods to things like a Serbian film. There's probably some more stuff in there. So yeah, it's not a wholly original film. But again, this doesn't bother me at all. It's a genre film. I'm totally fine with genre films, copying, ripping off, doing the same thing as other genre films. That's totally cool. All you have to do is keep me entertained and maybe add something new. And this movie does both of those things really well. It does keep you entertained the whole way through, and it does add something new. As far as I'm concerned, I do really like the idea of these sort of zombies, trapped in their lack of free will, totally debased state. And what I really liked is that antagonist zombie. How cool is that? Not too many movies have like a single antagonist zombie. That's pretty cool. That's awesome, actually. So overall, very cool movie. Highly recommended, especially if you love your splattery gore, because you will be very satisfied.